By the authority conferred on me as Vice-Chancellor, I constitute this Assembly a congregation of the University of Cape Town.
Please remain standing while we sing the national anthem. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to invite Kanyisa Panini, President of the SRC, to read the university dedication.
At this time of celebration, we, the members of the University of Cape Town, reaffirm our mission to nurture rational and creative thought and free inquiry, to strive for excellence in teaching and research, to educate for life, and to address the challenges of our society. We undertake to advance these ideals in a spirit of freedom and responsibility, and through consultation and debate. We celebrate our founders, benefactors, and predecessors, those who have built the fabric and nourished the values of UCT. To those of you who will graduate today, we wish you courage, wisdom, and purpose. To those of you who will leave the university to learn and work somewhere else, may you be sustained by these values which unite us here today and advance them in the world beyond. A love of truth and of learning, and of this, our university.
Thank you, Kanyisa. Please sit down.
Libiam nel dolci fremiti che suscita l'amore, poiché con l'occhio al cuore onnipotente va. Amore, amore, fra i calici più cari baci avrà.
As I'm sure many of you would have recognized, that is the drinking song from Verdi's La Traviata. I'd like to tell you that many of those who've participated in the song today are graduating today here at UCT. They are the soloists Liso Kai, Abenkosi Hui, Zolani Madalani, Amabolecheng Lebete. Those are the four soloists. They were also accompanied by people who form part of the chorus, Neil Barry Moss, Bongani Kubeka, Abongile Fumba, and Bongiwe Nakani. They were joined, in addition, by postgraduate students, Nomza Mpofu, Levi Lechapani, Bongani Bevula, and William Senuana. Thank you very much for your performance here today. I'd like to welcome you all here today in an official capacity, not the informal way that I did earlier on. I want to welcome those of you who have come from very far to be here with your children, with loved ones. I want to welcome the students who are here today to graduate. And I also want to extend a very special welcome to our Minister of Higher Education and Training, Minister Bladen Zamande, who is here. Who is here not in an official capacity, but in his private capacity as a parent. So welcome to you, a very special welcome to you. I thought that it would be useful in just introducing the idea of graduating in the humanities today to say a few things that I feel very strongly about. I myself graduated in the humanities. And I remember when I was at school that there were people who told me that it was not a very useful thing to think of doing. Because what would you do once you had studied the humanities and social sciences? That included my father, by the way, and I'll tell you something about that later on. And I think what we do know, and this is true, you will recognize, those of you who are graduates here today, is that the humanities and social sciences are commonly undervalued. But they are united by something very important, and that is a common interest in the concept of the human, of what it means to be human. Through the study of culture, of history, of notions of identity and ethnicity, of language, literature, and the arts, the humanities and social sciences help us to make sense of the world we live in, past and present. As you will know from your own experiences over the years that you have studied here, these disciplines will have encouraged you to become reflexive, critical thinkers who interrogate the human condition. And through the interrogation of the human condition, often speak truth to power, thereby upholding the fundamental conditions of freedom that nurture and feed social and other relations. I think for this reason, we have to recognize the centrality of the humanities and social sciences to our world and to the future, not only the past and the present. Ultimately, these disciplines challenge the dominant view that knowledge is technical and can therefore only be produced by way of hypotheses, testing, and causal explanations. Although not always easy to quantify the contributions that our disciplines make to society, they open up new, intellectually challenging ways of looking at the world. And they do so not only in those disciplines that are concerned with writing about culture, literature, and art, but also in the creative and performing arts. And we will, in fact, be honoring with honorary doctorates people who have made contributions that extend beyond the more traditional role of the humanities and social sciences. I think it is worth noting, as regards the creative and performing arts, that the University of Cape Town has graduated some extraordinary people. Last year, we awarded honorary doctorates to Basil and Adrian, the founders of Hang-String Puppets, and the people who produced Warhorse, which is currently on show here in Cape Town, and which has been listed as the must-see of the decade in London. These are UCT graduates. And then, of course, we also have, amongst our wonderful opera students, Priti Yende, who may be familiar to some of you as well, who has made her debut not only at La Scala, but also at the Met in New York. These are wonderful achievements for this university, but also for the future of the humanities arts, including the creative and performing arts. So I'd like to conclude by telling you that my father, who thought that I should be a lawyer, ended up telling me repeatedly that he never knew that one could make a living out of something that one loves.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present for the award of the degree of Doctor of Literature, honoris causa, William Kentridge. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow is based on the idea that when we are young, we express all aspects in the spectrum of our personalities. However, as we get older, we suppress our so-called unacceptable parts and hide them in an invisible bag of shadows that we drag behind us. As a society, as a nation, we can also have a collective shadow, the parts we hide, deny, or repress, the parts we cannot love: poverty, abuse, violence, injustice, and inequality. Jung's route to wholeness is to embrace the darkness. But how on earth would a society, a nation, do this? With his haunting shadow figures, his processions of the dispossessed and the lame, the corporate bully gobbling food from his banquet table and tossing scraps to the poor, and the decimated landscape of Johannesburg littered with bodies, William Kentridge might just be offering us a view of the shadows in our society. He is one of South Africa's most visible artists, an artist of international cultural authority. For the last 17 years, his work has been exhibited in major museums around the world, including Documenta in Germany, the Albertina in Vienna, the Louvre in Paris, and the Museum of Modern Art in New York. Kentridge currently has 3 exhibitions on in Johannesburg. The Refusal of Time is coming to Cape Town in February. Ubu and the Truth Commission is on its way to Florence, and his production of Schubert's Winterreise continues to be performed in various European cities. Kentridge will direct the opera Lulu in Amsterdam, New York, and London, and is working on new projection installations for the I Film Institute in Amsterdam, as well as for exhibitions in Beijing, London, and the Istanbul Biennale. He had an early phase of, I have no right to be an artist, and it was only when he turned 30 that he wrote artist for the first time on his visa application. Before that, he had written technician. He began working in printmaking techniques and charcoal drawings. He started photographing his drawings, and his first handcrafted animations were born. From animations, Kentridge extended his repertoire to video, projections, and full-scale opera productions. He tells stories, collaborates with puppeteers, and crosses genres. He was recently honored by being invited to give the distinguished series of Norton Lectures at Harvard University. Despite his international stature, the breadth of his artistic reach, and the seriousness of his subjects, he began the first of his 6 Norton Lectures with, I listed every thought I had ever had or remembered somebody else having, and I divided them by 6. Given the choice, if you had to work, if you didn't have to work, what would you do? Kentridge answers without hesitation, I would go to my studio. So let's honor him there in what he calls his compression chamber, experimenting with his coffee pot, the stiff-legged dividers, egg whisks, cameras, megaphones, walls plastered with fragments, papers pinned on top of each other, lenses, paint pots, good and bad paintbrushes, miniature theaters, a ladder to nowhere, circumnavigating his beloved studio. There, in what he calls the cacophony of excess and uncertainty, is William Kentridge, layering, stripping, concealing, revealing, piecing together his handcrafted animations, and possibly constructing the images of our disowned shadows. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present for the award of the degree of Doctor of Literature, honoris causa, William Kentridge. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present for the award of the degree of Doctor of Literature, honoris causa, David Edward Fanning. It's interesting that somebody who is so obsessed by stories only gained access to some of the stories of his own history in another country. In the mid-1960s, David Fanning, as an American field scholar, discovered that his American classmates were reading Alan Paton's Cry the Beloved Country. When they asked him to explain it to them, he confessed, "I haven't read it." It was considered dangerous, too full of ideas, and too subversive for South Africa. At that time, remember, television was also too subversive for South Africa. It was then when he found himself having to get inside the story of apartheid to understand, to unpack the motivations, that he says he became a journalist. David Fanning is the executive producer of Frontline, US television's longest-running investigative documentary series, and has been for the last 30 years. He's produced more than 530 films and related projects, and the glass cabinets at the Frontline offices are cluttered with awards. 25 DuPont Columbia Awards, 15 Peabodys, 5 George Polk Awards, 65 Emmys, and a Pulitzer. The recognition extends to the Goldsmith Career Award for Excellence in Journalism, the Columbia Journalism Award, the highest honor of Columbia School of Journalism, and the very significant National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Lifetime Achievement Emmy Award. His story begins in Port Elizabeth, where he was born and schooled, and moves to Cape Town and UCT, where Fanning, who was actually studying a BA in fine art, became an accidental journalist through editing Varsity, UCT's student newspaper. The artist part of him liked the physical making, the printing, the linotype, the ink, and the smells. But it was the natural raconteur in him that became drawn into the storytelling possibilities of journalism. He made a few documentary films in South Africa, including Martin West's Amabandla Ama Africa, then set off for some world traveling and found himself in California, where he talked his way into a job at a little public TV station. He was given a camera and a fridge full of film and started finding stories, but more importantly, figuring out ways to tell them. Frontline, the TV series, began as a few ideas scribbled on the back of a napkin. The essence was to combine great journalism and great filmmaking to produce not only literate television, but television that people wanted to watch. The clutter of awards in the cabinet is testimony to the fact that for the last 30 years, while the production of television documentaries has been waning, Frontline has excelled at making complex stories that take time to tell. 20 years ago, Fanning took a very bold step. He decided to publish the entirety of Frontline's interviews and primary material online. This was not only a level of transparency that was unheard of at the time, but it was also a wise anticipation of the digital future of journalism. It was also a turning point, seeing the online world as the world's library, a far cry from having to move continents to discover a novel of his homeland. Making a documentary is not like making a dramatic film, where the script contains the story. In a documentary, the narrative must be distilled from, at times, too much information, from found objects, fragments of film, interviews, stock footage, accidental content. Week in and week out, Fanning has been crafting material in a fresh and surprising way. The secret of his success is that it's not just about finding the story. It's about shaping the acts of the narrative, the arc of inquiry, the moment of revelation. It's more than just telling a good story. It's about knowing how it needs to be told. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present, for the award of the degree of Doctor of Literature, honoris causa, David Edward Fanning.
I have the honor of introducing to you William Kentridge, who's going to speak to us shortly. I thought long and hard about what I would say this afternoon. I think that for many of you, William is well known, certainly for the students who are seated here. And you will have seen the CV that has also been published of him, so I don't want to speak to that. The orator has spoken to part of that in any case. What I want to tell you is that it may be hard to believe, but when somebody has achieved the international stature that William has, there is no sense that they had a life before that. But I know that William did. And I want to tell a little anecdote about him from 30 years ago. 30 years ago, we had supper in Bez Valley in a house that Deborah Bell and Helen Sabidi were staying in. They're both also very famous now South African artists. It was in the poorest of poor neighborhoods then in Johannesburg, not Maponeng or whatever it has become, or the edge of what has become Maponeng now. And we were all very young, and we had high dreams and hopes for the future, but we certainly hadn't achieved those. William arrived and told us and regaled us with stories about a book that he was absolutely fascinated by. And this book was The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat, which is a book by the neurologist Oliver Sacks, in which he describes visual agnosia, the inability, in that case, of the man who mistook his wife for a hat, to recognize visual objects. Now, it's very interesting that that particular story has since been turned into an opera by a very famous English composer by the name of Michael Nyman. And I've always thought that it would be wonderful if William could choreograph The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat by Nyman. But what he did do, of course, was to go on and choreograph a whole lot of other operas. I think most interestingly, recently, is his work on Shostakovich's The Nose, which some of you may have seen in cinemas here in Cape Town as a relay from the Metropolitan Opera House in New York. I saw a recent interview with William on the production of The Nose, and William said in that interview that the reason that he had been interested in The Nose was that it created a sense of anything being possible. And I think that has been the achievement of William in his life work as an artist, the sense of making possible anything. William.
Vice-Chancellor, fellow honorary graduate, graduands, parents, grandparents, loyal supporters of those who are graduating today. Some years ago, my daughter Isabella applied for a scholarship, and on the application form, she had to list father's occupation. And there was no category on the form for artist. So the nearest thing which she chose to put down was semi-skilled manual labor. And she said, because it's not as if you have any real skills. You're not a jeweler, you're not a watchmaker. In fact, you're not very good at fixing anything in the house, so semi-skilled is right. And having a family gives one a very good perspective on oneself. My wife, who is a real doctor and not semi-skilled in the arts of healing, says, don't for one moment think you can bring back that hood and that funny hat into the house and call yourself doctor when this is finished. But nonetheless, I'm delighted to be with you here to receive this degree from the University of Cape Town and to celebrate all of your degrees. Although my 3 years at university were at the University of the Witwatersrand in Johannesburg, I do have connections to the University of Cape Town. Both my maternal grandparents studied here. My mother did her undergraduate degree here. My father, who is with us today, was given an honorary doctorate in the 1980s. And 2 of Anne and my children are studying here at the moment. So although this degree claims it is for literature, I really suspect it is just for family commitment. Now, I am aware that you are all humanities students, and you have come through a minefield. You've had to use the most precise logical thinking in essays, in exams, to approach all of those fields, music, art, literature, the social sciences, psychology, in which this strict logical form of thinking falls apart. Now, there is a long lecture here on the virtues of non-instrumental thinking. But I'm very aware that you don't need a lecture at this point. Your lectures are done, your exams are done, the essays are finished. It's not necessary to take any notes. In fact, to show that this is not a lecture, there is in fact a joke on page 3. To which the punchline, so I don't forget it when we get to it, is maybe someone will come. But to return to the semi-skilled manual labor. My life essentially has been in the studio, and most of what I have learned has come from there, in the ongoing conversation between the images or vague ideas that I have, in the physical manual activity of making, of drawing, of filming, of walking, and of what the paper, the ink, and the charcoal throw back, trying between an impulse and what that impulse becomes to make a sense of both the image and of the world. One can think of the studio as a place where the world is invited in. You invite it in the form of images pinned to the wall of the studio, newspaper headlines, photostats, photographs, the drawing you were busy with yesterday, the drawing you're thinking about in the future. And then one takes these fragments of the world and shatters them and rearranges them, and then they are sent back out into the world as a drawing, as a film, as a text. And there are many hours of walking around the studio, stalking the image. And this is a mixture of stupidity, of uncertainty, and moments of decisiveness. And there is a peripheral vision of all these different fragments on the tables, on the walls of the studio. But in addition to this peripheral vision of what one glances from the side of one's eyes as you walk around the studio, there's also an important peripheral thinking, taking fragments of ideas that are set off by the things you're looking at and hoping through the activity of either drawing or walking that these different fragmentary ideas will connect, and that from these peripheries a clarity will emerge, hoping for connections to consolidate. Now, on these occasions, I know that it is usual, even expected, to give advice to graduates. And I know that advice is not wanted and not heard. But anyway, a piece of advice: never give advice unless you are specifically asked for it. I think of all the thousands of pieces of good advice I've had in my lifetime, and I can remember 3 of them. The first piece of advice was, it does not really matter what you draw or what you write or what you're working on. Whatever you do, in the end, it will be a self-portrait. It will show your desires and fears. You can't escape from yourself. The second piece of advice was, do what you do well and enjoy, and in the end, people will respect you for it. The third piece of advice, now that I think of it, I have forgotten. But these pieces of advice arose in moments when those were exactly the words I needed to hear. In other words, when they confirmed something I already knew. So we're stuck between, on the one hand, having a very clear sense of who we are, but very tentative in affirming it and needing different supports and structures that tell us how we fit into the world. There was another piece of advice. When I left university with a Bachelor of Arts degree, I was caught between wanting to draw, wanting to act, wanting to make films, and I was advised correctly, because how could this not be correct advice, to do one thing only, to either make drawings or make films or make theatre, but to try to do all 3 was to be destined to failure, to become a dilettante, to become an amateur. And this was very good advice, and I tried very hard to follow it. I stopped working in the studio and went to Paris to try to be an actor, and I failed at acting. And I returned to South Africa to try to make films and discovered I'd failed as a filmmaker also. And in the end, I was reduced to being an artist again. It was many years later that I found, despite my best intentions, I was also working in theatre and film. It took me about 12 years to unlearn that very good piece of advice. We are caught in this conflict between confidence of who we are, an absence of an idea of who we are, an understanding of the world outside, and a questioning of what place we have in it and alongside it. Albert comes into a room and sees Abe sitting there. Abe is naked except for a top hat. This is the joke. Albert, why are you sitting there naked? Abe, it's all right, no one is coming. Albert, why the top hat? Abe, well, someone might come. I've spoken about the edges of the studio and what one catches from the sides of one's eye, and one can expand this outside the studio. South Africa today is a place in which the edges are important, where that which does not fit in has to be acknowledged, and where contradiction is central. Understanding that instability and provisionality is the order of the day. You finish your degrees as our country is in the middle of a massive hangover. The Democracy Party of 20 years ago is long finished, but everybody is left with a hangover and a foul temper. The feeling that I am nothing and I should be everything. Race and class divisions are with us as strongly as ever. A happy ending is by no means assured. There is a daily low-grade civil war at every stop street. The incidents of racial abuse, verbal and physical, alert us to the rages that still burn inside. They are shameful to all of us. There is much still to undo and even more to do. The optimistic future of South Africa is not assured, but neither is disaster. You owe your education to your country. You owe a debt. To leave immediately after receiving your degree is not just to avow the pessimistic future, but to push it further. And now this is not sentimental nationalism. A portion of your education has been paid for by you or by your parents or by your grandparents, or a scholarship, and your graduation is truly also their celebration. But one must understand that it is also largely paid for by people who will never be here in this hall, at this university, but whose labor has been the basis of the wealth of the country and the state support of your education. To not understand the debt you owe, not abstractly to a nation, but concretely to those whose labor power has paid for your education, needs a blindness and a sense of entitlement that is sadly very prevalent in the country. No one is satisfied with their positions. We are aware that everything feels awry. In my world of the theatre and the arts, this general dissatisfaction manifests itself in every filmmaker really wishing they were a photographer. And great photographers really want to be appreciated for their not-so-wonderful drawings. An artist wants to be a philosopher. The philosopher wants to be a merchant banker. The merchant banker secretly goes off for drawing lessons. I suspect this dissatisfaction is normal, but the advantages you have coming through the humanities is to understand that these contradictions are not aberrations, but the only way of understanding the world. You are blessed with this. This is a powerful tool to take with you from the university. It is not that one is either a pessimist or an optimist, but to understand that both of these futures, the pessimistic and the optimistic, unroll together at the same time. And the only way to work in South Africa is to understand that this shifting surface is as stable as it's ever going to be. But look at this in another way. We are all in a state of crisis, but all is possible. Be realistic, demand the impossible. Rage, envy, and greed are our national characteristics, but change those. Understand that hope is also a political category. Understand that making sense of the world and of yourself, whether it's in your studio, in your house, in your work, is a daily activity. The easy lesson of South Africa that we've all seen, how strength comes from vulnerability rather than from power. Relish the state of fragmentation we are in. Find the pleasure and beauty of unexpected connections. Understand your debt to your profession, painting, writing, being a sociologist. Learn from it. What you do is who you will become. Delight in your body a lot. You will never be so beautiful as you are now. Delight in your body. Keep a sharp eye for the day's events, but a keener feeling for the longer unfolding. Be kind. Understand that everyone is involved in their own titanic struggle. Seize the contradictions. Listen to the periphery. Be naked, but wear a top hat. Thank you.
William, thank you very, very much in that short but remarkably wide-ranging address. You have introduced us, on the one hand, to the complexity of the process of producing visual knowledge. You've alerted us to the importance of integrity, of being honest, of working with what some people call an authentic self. And you've introduced a phrase that to me is extremely meaningful coming from the humanities, and that is the strength that we achieve from vulnerability rather than from power. Thank you very much indeed for your address today. Vice-Chancellor, before 1994, and not only after 1948, UCT was complicit in practices that denied many staff and students full and dignified participation in the life of this university. These practices caused hurt, and as a reaction, especially in the period 1950 to 1993, increasing numbers of students declined to participate in graduation celebrations that ignored this hurt. The Council and Senate have invited students of that period who did not attend their ceremonies to attend a suitable ceremony in the years leading up to the centenary of degree awarding status in 2018 for re-graduation, in part to remind us of that history, in part to ensure that we listen to those who feel marginalized today, and in part as a restorative ritual. A small number have accepted the invitation for re-graduation today. Amongst them is Alistair Reiters, who is a daughter, Emma Lillian Reiters, graduating today. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present for re-graduation for the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honours in Economic History, Alistair Paul Reiters.
We now move to the part of the ceremony where we cap and graduate the undergraduates and graduates. By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I admit to the degrees specified and grant the diplomas specified to candidates who are recorded in the program as being in absentia. I shall now grant the diplomas and admit to the degrees the candidates to be presented to me by the Dean.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the Diploma in Dance Education, Darian Thorne Adams. Kaylin Sarah Besaidenote. Zandali Anthea Kempfer. Kelly Aronson. Desiree Dafton February. Janice Lauren Hesqua. Raylene Crystal Robertson. Next, please. Randall Smith. Tatum Smith. Kyla Nadine Solomons. Nkosenja Tamana. Kaylin Jesse Thomas. Sherry Lee Zegers. For the Diploma in Music Performance, with distinction in flute, Robert de Vries. Siabulela Gianna. With distinction in lyric diction and secondary piano, Edna Kotze. With distinction in double bass and jazz ensemble, and the diploma with distinction, Ryan Jeffrey MacArthur. Matthew Sean O'Connell. For the performance diploma in opera, Abongile Precious Fumba. Atenkosi Cornelia Hoy. Bongani Justice Kupega. With distinction in Singers Theatre, Neil Berry Moss. Bongiwe Nagani. Lito Ngai. For the Diploma in Dance Education, Raylin Crystal Robertson. For the Diploma in Theatre and Performance, Zimasa Zelda Gianni. Maggie Fernando. Away to Sharon Haley. Lutando Jamda. Courtney Lishay Smith. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, with distinction in psychology, Nina Tandy Abrams. With distinction in gender studies, Tasmin Abrams. Roy Derek Ashiels. Josephine Pearl Antony. Mikhail Baker. Jacques Raymond Barbin. With distinction in economic history, English language and literature and history, and the degree with distinction, Emily Claire Lindsay Bate. Kelly Michelle Beelders. Taylor Marie Besniller. Megan Claire Bentley. Sanele Blose. Sarah Jane Book. Kate Ellis Bohill. Brett Enzio Brush. Jessica Mary Bricky. With distinction in drama, history, and religious studies, and the degree with distinction, Jules Alexander Scottness Brown. Shannon Claire Campbell. Caroline Lauren Canterbury. Charmaine Carlson. Alexandra Nora Jane Shelwyn Milton. Ayanda Lee Charlie. With distinction in Spanish, Jayton Chavda. Yenjung Shen. Mlambile Joyce Shibambo. Sharifa Shoggle. Jody Clark. Danielle Mariska Cluti. Gia Iska Kluti. Claire Marie Kutsia. Tatum Christine Kogan. With distinction in philosophy, Winston Scott Coulthard. Ethan Cohen Coty. With distinction in English language and literature, Luke Jacob Cromode. Robin Denker. Joelle Lees Davidson. With distinction in economic history and environmental and geographical studies, Yana Romano de Greef. Tyler K. DeLeo. Mohammed Ziad Desai. Pascal Despard. Isabel de Villiers. Christina Sofia Diamondis. Helene Diedericks. Caroline Julia Dott. Sarin Danielle Drew. Lilian Tamupa Dube. Daniera Elizabeth Duplessis. Michaela Angelique Edmond Smith. Melissa Samantha Elias. Kelly Ann Ellis. With distinction in psychology and the degree with distinction, Kara Engelbrecht. Molly Amber Fitzpatrick. Sasha Lee Flugel. Meredith Kate Forbes. Sydney Josie Forbes. Sarah Forshaw. Mishka Shai Franco. Brittany Sarah Fries. Hannah Kaus. Chloe Tate Gibbs. Zachariah Klase. Liam Goldsworthy. Julia Ruth Open Green. Alessandra Sarah Griffin. Namalungelo Wendy Gumede. Megan Patricia Hand. Renton Jonathan Harris. Bronwyn Linda Madge Doreen Harris. Haley D. Hazel. Michael Errol Hodenskog. Nafisa Hendricks. Zara Catherine Hermans. Lee Hessen. Matthew Lee Hing. Nicole Lee Hing. Pascal Horay. Anya Hollins. Michelle Su. With distinction in history, Kaylee Shannon Huggett. With distinction in English language and literature, Isabella Hugo. Mohsina Ismail. Caitlin Gwynn Jacobs. Kanita Jacobs. Nadia Jafta. With distinction in social anthropology, Claire Irene James. Nonkululeko Motsedisi Jezile. Sasha Joseph. Stephanie Kombarakis. Lerato Moira Kau. Mohamed Akib Kazi. Lerato Moira Kau. With distinction in English language and literature, Mary Louise Kennedy. With distinction in music and organizational psychology, and a degree with distinction, Han Na Kim. Benjamin Klein. Jessica Francis Collar. Nikesh Kuvaji. With distinction in archaeology, Danica Krensky. Veronique Kruger. Emma Lawrence Kunz.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Antonia Langley. Michael John Lawrenson. Warren Christian LeKay. Laura K. LaRue. Sarah Elizabeth Levine. Chenya Liu. Shelley Jacqueline Lloyd. Nazreen Lowe. Emma Kate Leyendijk. Hendrik Christian Maas. Tatelo Await Mabilecha. Bontle Mafojani. Ntando Mahali. Tembakile Machlaba. Mabato Christophine Mahumapelo. Tandakile Makalima. Palisa Setetu Mapaele. Sizinzo Wandumzi Mpilo Makubela. With distinction in business French, Lauren Julia Maris. Christopher William Martin. Richard Frank Martin. Stephanie Althea Lieselotte Martin. Maureen Makaita Mawunganidze. Ilyas Mayet. Hugo Lawrence McLaughlin. Sibabalwe Sabisa Makuto. With distinction in history and psychology and the degree with distinction, Sapna Mayuri Mestri. Zingiza Moluvuyo Mjoli. Siviwe Ateria Mchali. Niyaz Mohammed. Tatu Retumetse Makwena. Bianca Garcia Mudli. Hassana Musa. Clive Orazile Mopoletti. Mamelo Sebabatso Mosiana. Anthony Jaffe Moss. Caitlin Ashley Mostert. With distinction in sociology and the degree with distinction, Rufaro Moyo. Kabisa Nonopa Moyo. Mtutukile Zenzile Nsibi. Kirsten Lee Muller. With distinction in English language and literature and psychology and the degree with distinction, Tamsin Mary Naylor. Belinda Buwazisiwe Ndaba. Stanley Shingai Ndinga Kanga. Snantlantla Notandu Ndlovu. Untutuso Nzomo. Tankiso Azola Ngidi. Diella Faith Nofke. Sharon Njoki. Zipo Ntloko. Asanda Nchika. Joshua Michael Nuttall. Nicholas Nyamusa. With distinction in English language and literature, Alez Odendahl. With distinction in music, Sarah Charlotte Kulwe Oliver. Rahima Parker. With distinction in gender studies, Julia Pale. Caitlin Marion Peters. Chelsea Ann Peterson. Lena Ashia Peterson. Nicole Terry Peterson. Daniel Sebastian Pettit. Ashley Elizabeth Pettit. Luis Justino Vieira Pita. Molebacheng Pitso. Zoe Powell. Jamie Ann Priestnitz. Melissa Rabi. Uzaya Ramjam. Vanisha Ramji. Sinokolo Razameni. Monwabisi Chulumanko Ratsiba. Bilkis Rawut. Jamie Ann Reed. Charlotte Lucy Rogers. Dominique Cecile Rolino. William Michael Rosenberg. Clara Rosley. Jana May Rubin. Emma Lillian Reiters. Leora Garley Sachs. With distinction in linguistics and social anthropology, Fatima Saddam. Maramanda Salokia. Sadiq Samudian. Jessica Karen Sapsford. Taylor Sasson. Nicole Linda Saunders. Courtney Moira Savage. Unkomika Nontutuko Petunia Shangazi. Cleopatra Shava. Davina Indigo Tamsin Venus Shaw. Gemma Mary Shepherd. Natalie Scher. Julia Emma Short. David Silva. Alfreda Ntombizodwa Simakani. Kafilo Esandila Siwiza. Christine Scotty. John Lang Smale. Hannah Deborah Smith. With distinction in English language and literature, Alexandra Jacqueline Smith. Sandizwa Yolanda Sokutu. Vivian Speece. Caitlin Jeanette Spring. Nicola Steenkamp. Toril Strandhagen. With distinction in German, Hedwig Ann Taylor. Tapelo Thiele. Theolin Vanasco Tembo. Paula Kingsley Tenhuip. Karen Helen Tennant. Sabahle Tayisa. Simon Alexander Maisels Trisk. Carrie Linda van der Walt. With distinction in film studies, Anna van Dijk. Jonathan Mark van Eyssen. Tabisa Happiness Vanka. Manja Nea van Reineveld. Georgina Ann Joy Vardy. Shelley von Seidel. Michelle Helen Fretos. Tani Jane Wagenaar. With distinction in Environmental and Geographical Studies, Nicholas Michael Eugene Walker. Sarah Jo Walker. With distinction in English Language and Literature, Hannah Grace Walton. With distinction in English Language and Literature and Gender Studies, Megan Watkins. Marika Watson. Michael David Watson. With distinction in Psychology, Kirsty Ashlyn Weaver. Taryn Candice Welsh. With distinction in Classical Studies and French Language and Literature and the degree with distinction, Ursula Ann Westwood. Irene Wilson. Mswabantu Hector Yabo. With distinction in drama, Sophia Louisa Zwe. It's half time, so you're allowed to stand for a minute to restore circulation.
Ah.
I'm going to go in about 20 minutes.
You can.
I'm going to go past you here.
Why don't you sit here?
Oh, you're not going to...
He's going to be busy for 20 minutes. Why don't you sit here? You're going.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, in Film and Media Production, Tel Doria Aharonov. Geraldine Amoko. Susan Crystal Louise April. Malcolm Bigemano. Christine Mathilde Bredenkamp. With distinction in film studies, Duduzile Nyaradzo Chinyenze. With distinction in English language and literature, media and writing, and studies in film and media production, and the degree with distinction, Etresia Kutsia. William Samuel Cronier. Marius de Bruin. Samantha Jane Dolman. With distinction in studies in film and media production, Christopher Michael Dudley. With distinction in film studies, Michael John Everard. John Paul Fawcett. Tendekai Finos. Diana Halsey Fletcher. Barbara Fourie. With distinction in Spanish, Gustav Peter Franque Mateca. Catherine Stewart Franklin. With distinction in media and writing and studies in film and media production, Ashley Karen Furlong. Holy Peace Gardner. Chrysia Kaweda. With distinction in studies in film and media production, Daniel Chris Geldenes. With distinction in English language, film studies, and studies in film media and media production, and the degree with distinction, Shannon Kate Holcroft. Yasmin Yanika Brigitte Horowitz. Ray Amy Human. Claire Louise Hunter. distinction in English language and literature, film studies and studies in film and media production, and the degree with distinction, Samuel Wolfe Kentridge. Zahra Kazani. Colleen Caroline Knox. Ashley Brenda Langton. Arnold Joseph Librand. Catherine Joanne Lorandos. Silo Mac Bakaka. Notando Harriet Majoni. Megan Evelyn McEwan. Dando yenkosi nomkosi nokupiwa mlambo. Petakatso Buisiwe Motumi. Solomon Nkosinhle Moyo. Banele Ntokozo Msimango. Abigail Monroe. Samantha Francis Newdigate. Notando Zime Daga. Megan Ueli. Konandi Rita Onu. Emma Lee Openshaw. Molly Kate Parkinson. Roxanne Storm Sibylski. With distinction in studies in film and media production, Brian David Smith. Matthew Richard Sudik. With distinction in studies in film and media production, Jane Hilton Swart. Dana Chelsea Turin. Shannon Roxanne van Wyk. Lauren Jane Foster. With distinction in film studies and studies in film and media production, Kyle Gordon Wallace. Georgina N. Warner. With distinction in film studies, James Craig Williamson. With distinction in English language and literature, film studies and studies in film and media production, and the degree with distinction, Matthew Zane Winfield. Taylor Withers. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Theatre and Performance, Nicole Jacqueline Fortain. With distinction in drama, Margaretha Elizabeth Gericke. Sivenkosi Kubanga. Jason Walter Jacobs. Sophie Kush. Nathan James Lynn. Shonisani Murendeni Masuta. With distinction in drama, Alexander Hugh McCarthy. With distinction in drama, Jessica McCarthy. Francesca Vary Michelle. Dylan John Owen. Jazara Jaslyn Pinar. Mañano Putuma. Cameron John Robertson. Sky Russell. Larika Schnell. Kathleen Maria Stevens. With distinction in drama, Calum Alexander Tilbury. Amelia Victoria Verned. With distinction in drama and the degree with distinction, David Ralph Viviers.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Fine Art, Jacqueline Michelle Baker. With distinction in Fine Art 4 and Studio Work and the degree with distinction, Lucienne Pallas-Bestel. Liesel Ute Brenzel. Julia Diana Buchanan. Chelsea May Christian. Brendan Henry Clack. Rory Lance Emmett. With distinction in studio work and the degree with distinction, Amy Irene Engelbrecht. Carmen Urswell. Zayan Farouk. Tulile Esther Gamedze. With distinction in Fine Art 4 and Studio Work and the degree with distinction, Julian Paul Gasson. Rose Gelderblom Wodilov. Catherine Ann Gracie. Gail June Gunston. Sarah Yasmin Hugo Hammond. Dean Nathan Jones. Bonolo Illinois Kavula. Esti Kriya. Amy Christine Leander Lester. Letamaga Richard Mabula. Kirsten Ashley Mackrell. Danielle Marguerite Murray. Sean MacDonald. Tandiwe Thelma Nsabensi. Narina Naidu. Hannah Sophie Orlovsky. Rachel Beth Payton. With distinction in Fine Art for Soraya Jasmine Peltzer. Emily Harriet Bulbrin Robertson. Sylvia Mavis Rousseau. Karen Rebecca Seton. Kyle Andrew Springate. Gregory Stock. Sitara Wren Stodel. With distinction in studio work and the degree with distinction, Morgan Ashley Strutt. Jordan Abraham Sweek. With distinction in Fine Art for Jana Luzanne Terblanche. Fabienne Trust. Beatrice Julia van Soorlen. Robin Phoenicia van Staden. Marguerite Fenter. Dominic Fillion. With distinction in studio work and the degree with distinction, Hester Sophia Waite. With distinction in discourse of art and fine art 4 and the degree with distinction, Layla Walter. Caitlin Jade Weir. Storm Matthew Wright. With distinction in fine art 4, Mwanda Bethwell Zenzile. For the degree of Bachelor of Music, Chloe Marie Yustra. With distinction in accompanying music theory and analysis and piano, Emma Rose Mould. With distinction in composition, music technology, and violin, and the degree with distinction, Matthew David Dennis. With distinction in composition and the degree with distinction, Michael James Graham. Kerry Marakin Worth. In musicology, Tabiso Nkwana. In performance, with distinction in jazz ensemble, jazz improvisation, and jazz singing, and the degree with distinction, Amy June Campbell. With distinction in jazz ensemble, Claire Thelma de Kock. Mareka Johnson. Tori Manafelt. With distinction in music theory and analysis and the degree with distinction, Chloe Grace Murphy. With distinction in lyric diction, secondary piano, singers, theatre and singing, Johannes Michael Slabert. With distinction in accompanying, chamber music, history of music, organ and piano, Irben Robert Leonte Wachenstrom. With distinction in violin, Ruby May Aliff. With distinction in jazz ensemble, Murray Vincent Beitendach. Cello Sintu Marocha. For the degree of Bachelor of Music in Dance, with distinction in classical ballet, contemporary dance, and dance teaching method, and the degree with distinction, Amy Denise Dean. With distinction in African dance practice, Jamie Lee Jansen. With distinction in African dance practice, Melissa Lee Jansen. With distinction in contemporary dance, Natalie Bronwyn King. Michaela Schwen. With distinction in choreographic studies and dance teaching method and the degree with distinction, Tanya Lee Fosgata. For the degree of Bachelor of Music in Education with distinction in flute, history of music and music theory and analysis, and the degree with distinction, Elizabeth Mary Harper. Jason Joseph. Marie-Alette Luttig. Gemma McKinley. Andrew Barry Mayer. For the degree of Bachelor of Social Science, Ashley Eden Nestat. Katlejo Nkhudi. In philosophy, politics, and economics, with distinction in economics, philosophy, and studies in PPE, and the degree with distinction, Ashley Jacqueline Arton. With distinction in economics and studies in PPE, and the degree with distinction, Gina Banun. Tyron Thompson Carnegie. Emma Elizabeth Antonia Wynne Cooper. Nicola Peter Doyle. Joshua Michael Friedman. With distinction in studies in PPE and the degree with distinction, Oliver Benjamin Hussen. With distinction in studies in PPE, Rebecca Amy Gore. With distinction in studies in PPE, Ryan Gavin Hosking. With distinction in studies in PPE, Vivian Yonka. With distinction in economics, philosophy, and studies in PPE, and the degree with distinction, Adrian Ford-Elise. Saul Maros. Noneka Nandet Nodada. Nathan Sclair. Gavin Murray Thompson. Christina Tromp. With distinction in philosophy, political studies, and studies in PPE, Rehan Peter Fisser. With distinction in studies in PPE, Christopher Wanamaker.
We've had a real treat this afternoon with our two outstanding honorary graduates. A wonderful lecture, honorary graduate address. Thank you so much, William Kentridge. And then this display of phenomenal achievement. You've done so well, and we are so proud of you. A humanities degree, as Professor Klopper was saying earlier, is a preparation for life. Many parents ask us, especially as we congratulate them afterwards, now what's my child going to do? And we need to remind them, and I'm doing so here so that I only have to do so once and not 100 times as you each come up to me. We need to remind them that for this generation in particular, life is long. Most of them will live to be 100 years old. Most of them will work till the age of 80 or 85 because you can't afford to retire with more than 20 years to go after you've retired. So they will work till about 80. It's a good prospect, 60 years, 55 years of work ahead of you now. And most will have 3 or 4 careers. significant career changes. They might start off working in social development, they may move into business or into the corporate sector. Many will become managers or CEOs. Some will work in the public sector, and most will move through several careers, probably 4 careers. The content of what they've learnt in their humanities degree is almost irrelevant. It is going to be out of date soon, and it's going to be only marginally relevant to 3 of those 4 careers. But what is relevant is the ways of thinking that humanities has taught them, and the variety of the ways, and the understanding that all ideas are contested, and that their job is to challenge the received wisdom, and that their ability to present, to think, to solve problems, to approach issues from multiple disciplines and multiple areas, that is the foundation for life. And they will never have the chance again, probably, to take out 3 or 4 years just to study, just to master these disciplines and ways of thinking. And that's what you have given them. That's what we hope we have given them. And we're enormously proud of you, not just, as I say, for the content that you've mastered, but for the ways of thinking. Many of you, as I watched you come across the stage, I recognized from sports teams, from societies that you've been active in, from SRC, student government, house committees, from the residences. And I hope that the vast majority will have left here not just with the academic education that we have acknowledged today, but with an all-round education that has prepared you for life. And more than that, we hope that what will mark you out as a UCT graduate is not just the excellence of your degree and the fact that it is recognized all over the world, but the values that you display and will display in your life and in your work. If you leave these doors, if you walk out of Jamie Hall without a sense of your duty to change the world, your commitment to social justice, to addressing issues of inequality, to creating a more inclusive society through the skills and jobs that you're going to pursue, then we will have failed. But if we have not failed, you will be recognized as a UCT alum for those values. And as you join the community of alumni globally, some 150,000 members of the convocation of the university, we invite you, please, to keep in touch with us, because the convocation is an important structure in the governance of the university. It is the guarantee of continuity. Our alumni play a role, firstly, in electing the Chancellor of the university, secondly, in electing 6 members to the Council of the university, which is the governing body and ensures the standards are maintained, that this university remains an institution that you will always be proud of, and that your degree will always be a real asset to you. We will send you regular newsletters 4 times a year. We will send you information about what's going on. When things happen in the university or to the university, we'll communicate with you as alumni so that you know what's going on and you hear it directly from us. And we want you to give us feedback and keep in touch and tell us what you think we should be doing. You will each have an email for life from this university, an email which will remain unchanged for the rest of your lives. And we urge you to make sure that as your other email addresses change, you forward the email from your university address to those other emails so that we can remain in touch with you. You join this family, and like all families, we support each other. You have been the beneficiaries of many people who have come before you, from those who donated the land and the buildings, to many thousands who have contributed scholarship money and bursary money so that those who would not have been able to afford to come to UCT have been able to come. It's that philanthropy that ensures that we don't turn any students away for the lack of money. If we can admit them academically, we will make sure that they have the funding. But it is a commitment that we need to keep through drawing you, this family, into supporting the university too. And you'll find on your seats a folder and a pledge form, because we want you to get into the habit straight away of thinking about the university, thinking of those that come after you, and starting to give something back. But it's time to celebrate, and I'm sure, graduates, that you will want to show your appreciation to your family members who have sacrificed a huge amount and have supported you financially and emotionally over these years. So I invite you to stand up and make eye contact with your family members and friends in the audience. Wave your scroll above your head and shout your appreciation to them. And your hard work alone would not have got you to this place, especially with all the clubbing that was thrown in between. And so I hope you'll recognize that the faculty members on the stage have got you to where you are, and show your appreciation to them too. And I want to add my appreciation. This university is as great as it is because of its brains trust. Most of that brains trust is in the faculty, but certainly in the student body too. And I want to signal in this public occasion my appreciation to the faculty members for making this university what it is. And so, and a final word of appreciation. This university, people often don't appreciate that a university has twice as many non-academic staff, what we call support and professional staff, as it does faculty, academic faculty. And that's really what keeps the wheels turning, what ensures that this graduation happens, that we have records of your degrees, that we can monitor, admit, and process, and be a great university. So I want to thank you also to the support staff of the university. And that's it. It's time to celebrate. Congratulations.
We've come to the end of this very long but very interesting proceedings. I'd like to ask you all to stay behind to allow the platform party to leave first, followed by the graduates, and that when we move out of this hall, we don't get stuck at the top of the steps, because that means people behind us can't get out. So please keep moving down to the plaza. I'd also like to indicate that there will be a function afterwards, and that you are invited to join us in the Leslie Social Sciences building for that function. The Leslie Social Science building is, as you go out on your right, 2 or 3 buildings down. Thank you.
By virtue of the authority conferred on me, I now dissolve this congregation of the University of Cape Town.